So when it comes to making a solid income, there's a couple of ways you could do it, of course. One is just get a good paying job, 9 to 5, and keep at it, make smart investments, spend less than you make, and away you go. And it's a great option for a lot of people. Now, for those of us who either are semi-unemployable or for whatever reason prefer the route of owning a company or being self-employed, we have essentially two options to choose from. So one is we can start up a company, and number two is we can buy a company that's already in existence. Now, I don't know exactly why. I guess maybe it's because, I don't know, for whatever reason, growing up, or in my 20s, I guess, when I got interested in business and entrepreneurship, I was consuming content around startups and starting your own company and all that stuff. And I never really dove that deeply, I guess, into the idea of buying a company. Which is interesting because when it comes to real estate, for instance, most of us are very comfortable with the idea of buying a home that already has been built. And we're not married to the idea that we have to build our own home in order for it to be a nice home. But that we can go out to the market, we can see what's available and find something we like. Maybe we'll update it, maybe we'll make some changes to it, but we'll find something we like and we'll run with it. Somehow when it comes to business, most of us seem to think that starting up a business is the way to go and don't really look at buying a business. Now, buying a business is actually pretty interesting because, number one, it can have positive cash flow right out of the gate. Depending on the structure of the deal, it can require no cash out of pocket. And, in terms of the finances of the project, it really offers some interesting and potentially vastly superior economics to starting a business from the ground up. Now, starting a business from the ground up can be excellent, right? When when Mark Zuckerberg went out and started making Facebook, right? He didn't buy Facebook from somebody else. Like, he made it himself. But after they got to a certain scale, and then they started buying up other companies too, right? So in reality, Zuckerberg has done both. But anyway, to be able to buy a business that has positive cash flow from day one. So one of the different businesses have different challenges in the startup phase. But what the commonality that most businesses do share is that the startup phase is usually pretty tough. I read a book talking about the different phases of a company, and it was talking about how that initial 1 to 3 years or whatever, when you're getting your product market fit dialed in, you're getting momentum with gaining customers. It's often just a grind. It is often a lot of work to get it up and running, and usually little or no profitability in those first several years. Now, there are exceptions, and especially in sort of the self-employed scenario, like where you're basically trading your time for dollars. That can cash flow right out of the gate, if you got the right skills and all that stuff. And then even potentially, let's say a cleaning business, right? You a janitorial company. Yeah, you hire contractors, and you can cash flow very quickly, have profitability very quickly in theory. But there again, you still got to get those customers initially. Buying a company, it's intriguing that you can have good cash flow right out of the gate. You bought your customers, so you didn't have to go through the uncertainty and the challenges of buying your customers through marketing, or trying to create them through organic social media, or depending on referrals. You could simply, what they call in the insurance, I guess, buy a book of business, right? You could get those customers, purchase those customers with the company. So while there may not be all of the upside available that you would have in a startup when you buy a business, there are a lot of really interesting advantages. And, knowing what I do now about that, it kind of makes me think, like, would I have been better off, buying a marketing company back in the day as compared to starting my own, for instance? Or should I be looking now, rather than trying to, build out a funnel for acquiring new customers? Should I be buying an existing marketing agency and growing that way? So, not having purchased other companies, you don't know what you don't know, right? So, I'd say there's probably lots of pitfalls as well in purchasing a company, and lots of things that can go wrong and very wrong. But the same is true of starting a company. So, if you have the guts to start your own company and the ability to keep it going, it may well be that you would have the ability and the guts to buy a company and grow that way as well.